The Detroit Lions lost both Aiden Hutchinson and Derek Barnes, and we thought they were lost for the season. Derek Barnes lost week 3 in a win against the Arizona Cardinals, and Aiden Hutchinson was lost a month ago to the day, October 13th, in a win against the Dallas Cowboys. It seems so weird. The Lions have won now 7 in a row, looking to make it 8 in a row against the Jacksonville Jaguars, having not lost since week 2 against the now 4-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It seemed like so long ago. We thought that first it was Derek Barnes is out, then it was like, man, it might be season-ending IR. Then there was like, okay, there's a chance that both him and Hutch could return. Well, we got an update on both individuals, and I had to bring this to you guys' attention. This is coming from Colton Pouncey's Twitter account. Says Derek Barnes' knee is back in the building. He had been in West Lafayette for physical therapy before returning to Detroit yesterday. Will rehab with Aiden Hutchinson. Asked if he's holding out hope for a return, Barnes said he's had those thoughts. One day at a time, man, he told Colton Pouncey. So we know about Derek Barnes. And again, initially, that injury was not expected to he wasn't expected to be out for the season. It was like, oh, okay, he's going to miss some time. Then it was IR. Then it was like he's lost for the season. Now there's a chance that he could come back. And I saw an article from SI, and he was talking about that he's ahead of schedule, which is great. So there's a possibility that we can see these guys as we make a push toward the playoffs. Now, I think that we'll hear maybe about John Kaminsky in the month of December, early January, and then right around that time, we'll be hearing more about whether or not Derek Barnes and Aiden Hutchinson can return. Speaking of Aiden Hutchinson, if you guys remember from the tweet that Derek Barnes is going to be, quote, rehabbing with Aiden Hutchinson. So I took it upon myself. Again, I see the same videos that you do, but unless I can get actual information that I can source, then I can't talk about this stuff. So I started doing some research and found this. I wind up responding. I found Colton Pouncey's tweet, and I responded, quote, will rehab with Aiden Hutchinson, talking about Colton's quote, said, just trying to get clarification. Is Aiden coming into the building for rehab purposes? Thank you. And then he responds, which is rare that I actually get a response back. He says, correct. They've been working with Director of Player Health and Performance, Brett Fisher. So that's a reply to my initial question about that is Hutch coming into the building, because the Detroit Lions' last home game against the Tennessee Titans, which was just a couple of weeks ago, right? Because we played Tennessee was the 10th. No, the Texans was the 10th. Green Bay was the 3rd. The end of October was Tennessee. So this was a week, 1 week after the injury. So we're talking about the 27th. So it was 2 weeks after the injury, right? Yes. Yep. 2 weeks after the injury, we saw Hutch with his leg propped up at Ford Field. So there's no indication how long Hutch has been going into the building, if he can walk unassisted, if he is in a wheelchair, getting there, just doing rehab. So the fact that this dude is back in the building is huge, man. Going from IR, season ending, he won't play again. Like I said earlier, today is 1 month exactly since the injury happened to Hutch. Remember, on the good end of recovery, we were looking at 4 months. So if we look at that December 13th, January 13th, February 13th, the Super Bowl is the 9th of February. So if he was able to come back and play for the Super Bowl, which is the best case scenario from what we understand, he would come back just 4 days shy of the 4-month mark. And don't forget, they said if anybody, Dan Campbell, all the guys said if anybody can come back, would make that comeback, it would be Aiden Hutchinson. So it's great news to know that both Derek Barnes and Hutchinson are rehabbing. No doubt Derek Barnes is much closer probably than Hutch. And something that was brought to my attention, I forgot about this. I actually remembered about this. The Detroit Lions, you only get 8 elevations from IR per year. You get 2 more if your team makes the playoffs. Somebody in the comment section told me that we've already had 4 returns from IR. Okay. Christian Mahogany, he went on the non-football injury list. He doesn't count. Yes, it was Christian Mahogany. Then you have the people that's returned. Broderick Martin and Emmanuel Mosley were IR designated to return. So who do we have coming back from that was just on regular in-season IR or right before that? No, in-season IR, because that would be, remember, if you're on IR when the season begins, your season is over. So what they did is John Kaminsky was hurt. He was on the active roster. They put him back on IR once he made the 53. So Lions been playing musical roster since the beginning of the season. So from my understanding, I'm trying to think of IR people that have come back. Afitu Melifonwu, he was not on designated to return, but Broderick and Emmanuel were. So that's one. Put in the comment section, who do you recall, if you can, off the dome, who has returned from IR that was not on designated to return, which was Broderick and Emmanuel. So they don't count toward the 8. But Hutch would, Jalen Reeves-Maben would, Afitu Melifonwu would, those guys would. I feel like I'm missing somebody too. John Kaminsky. Did I say him already? So Kaminsky, Hutch, Barnes, Afitu. Those 4 would count. That would be 4 once they return. So we would have 4 more and then an additional 2 if we make the playoffs, which we are going to make the playoffs. We got greater than a 99% chance to make the playoffs. So great news for the Detroit Lions. Cannot imagine Zadarius Smith and Hutch. In the meantime, we brought back Isaiah Thomas. We've got Josh Pasco that's doing some things. James Houston making a little bit of an impression. I would still like to see a guy like Jason Pierre-Paul. I really would. Bring him in for just as we make that push. I'm going to keep saying this. Last year around this time, we brought in Bruce Irvin. He did not play his first game until the beginning of December. He played 3 elevations, and we actually waived him right before the playoffs. Then he wound up playing in that freezing cold game with the Miami Dolphins in Kansas City. So I would still like to see, and that's the only way we're going to get somebody else, is clearing with the waiver wire. If you're any good, unless your contract is ridiculous, you're not gonna get 31st. It's not gonna happen. So anyway, what news? What news, man? Bringing Hutch and also Derek Barnes, the possibility of those guys returning. The only thing that sucks, man, is we're going to lose somebody, no doubt, somebody that's contributed to the team. But when that time comes, if that time comes, then hopefully they clear waivers and they can come back. Whoever plays for our team this season, I really, really hope that they're able to get a Super Bowl ring. I hope they're part of the team when that happens, because I feel like the Detroit Lions are Super Bowl bound, and I think we can beat. Matter of fact, I know we can beat any team. But we're going to go through it. The only team we really don't play is the Ravens, but we play the Buffalo Bills. We're going to see how we stack up against those guys. And, of course, we'll see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But I feel like, hey, the Buffalo Bills, man, they're playing some good football. Maybe they exercise their Patrick Mahomes, man, and get past that guy finally, right? So we all remember 13 seconds back in the day. Wanted to show you, I updated the photo, all right? So I've got a couple photos in here. This is the Green Gridiron. This is not exclusive to them, but you can get a discount if you were to make this purchase from them. This is what the Infinity Light looks like before you turn it on. This is what it looks like, just a regular, awesome Detroit Lions logo sign. Here's what it looks like once you turn it on. And then here's what it actually looks like in motion, which is super duper cool, man. So this is what it looks like in motion. This is off. And of course, this is just a still shot of what it looks like in motion. And this is how it actually, if you were to go around it, you can see the infinity aspect of it. So that is super cool. You have promo code that you can use in the description below, DETSYN, to get an additional % off your Green Gridiron purchase. Shout out to everybody that's used the link, man. Somebody just used it not too long ago. I can tell how much you kind of spent because my affiliate amount grows. And I just got to say thank you to everyone. I don't care if you've bought the little mini collectible helmets, if you bought the teeny weeny helmets of all of the football teams that they also have. They're expanding to not only helmets, but collectibles as well. And no matter what you bought, man, I appreciate you guys tremendously because that helps me do what I do. This brand has put a lot of faith in me as Lions Syndicate, and they've partnered with the entire syndicate as well. So every syndicate under this umbrella has a promo code exclusive to their channel, and that's all because of you guys with the belief that you have in me. So anytime you make a purchase from Green Gridiron Man, don't forget DETSYN. Use that to get whatever extra discount. No matter what's going on, the sale, if they have a sale, a promo, whatever, you can stack it on top of mind, man. So that's fantastic. But this channel is brought to you by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.